Welcome students, this is Ms. Martin, and I have a first page Friday for you. I'd like to introduce you to a book called The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm going to make a crazy guess that you have probably heard of The Hobbit or heard of Tolkien at some point along the lines, though you may not yet have read it. I think that my son has read this book at least a dozen times, at least. He absolutely loves Tolkien, and one of his plans is to become an English teacher and to teach The Hobbit. He loves it that much. So The Hobbit is a well-loved book, first published in 1937, and many, many millions of people have enjoyed reading it and the books that came after it that continue along the story. So what I'd like to do is to read the first page to you and to see if it sounds like it's interesting to you, because this might just end up being your next book. So this is the first page here of chapter 1 of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, An Unexpected Party. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit, not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. It had a perfectly round door, like a porthole, painted green with a shiny yellow brass knob in the exact middle. The door opened on to a tube-shaped hall like a tunnel, a very comfortable tunnel without smoke, with paneled walls and floors tiled and carpeted, provided with polished chairs and lots of pegs for hats and coats. The hobbit was fond of visitors. The tunnel wound on, going fairly but not quite straight into the side of the hill, as all the people for many miles round called it, and many little round doors opened out of it, first on one side and then on another, not going upstairs for the hobbit. Bedrooms, bathrooms, cellars, pantries, lots of these, wardrobes, he had whole rooms devoted to clothes, kitchens, dining rooms, all were on the same floor, and indeed on the same passage. The best rooms were all on the left-handed side going in, for these were the only ones to have windows, deep-set round windows looking over his garden and meadows beyond, sloping down to the river. This hobbit was a very well-to-do hobbit, and his name was Baggins. The Bagginses have lived in the neighborhood of the hill for a time out of mind, and people considered them very respectable, not only because most of them were rich, but also because they never had any adventures or did anything unexpected. You could tell what a Baggins would say on any question without the bother of asking him. This is a story of how a Baggins had an adventure and found himself doing and saying things altogether unexpected. He may have lost the neighbor's respect, but he gained, well, you will see whether he gained anything in the end. So that's the first page of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I think it's a wonderful book. I think that a lot of people would agree that it's a wonderful book, and I hope that you give it a try. So pick up a copy if it sounds like it's interesting to you, and maybe this will be your next book.